Understanding prophecy in the biblical context requires a grasp of what prophecy signifies within the scriptures. In essence, biblical prophecy refers to messages believed to be divinely inspired, often conveying God's will or foretelling future events. Unlike mere predictions, biblical prophecies are often intertwined with moral or spiritual guidance and serve as a testament to divine omniscience and intervention in human history. This concept is integral to the discussion of whether biblical predictions are unfolding today, as it sets the foundation for evaluating contemporary events through the lens of ancient scriptural predictions. The significance of understanding prophecy in this context is multifaceted. Firstly, it encourages a deeper exploration of theological perspectives, inviting believers and scholars alike to interpret current global phenomena as potential fulfillments of biblical foresight. Secondly, it bridges the ancient world with the present, offering insights into how timeless these scriptures might be, given their perceived applicability today. For instance, consider the prophecy in the book of Daniel, often interpreted to relate to the rise and fall of empires. Some may view the geopolitical shifts in the modern world as a continuation or realization of these prophetic visions. Another example is the book of Revelation, which contains vivid imagery depicting apocalyptic events. Many interpret these descriptions as a roadmap for end times, suggesting that current global crises, from climate change to political instability, align with these prophetic narratives. Opinions supporting the relevance of biblical prophecy often stem from religious and philosophical frameworks that uphold the Bible as a timeless, divinely inspired text. Proponents argue that the specificity and historical continuity of biblical prophecies lend credibility to their potential realization in today's world. However, interpreting biblical prophecy is not without its challenges and controversies. Critics argue that prophecies are vague, open to multiple interpretations, and may not be intended as literal forecasts, but rather as allegorical lessons. Additionally, those skeptical of prophecy's validity may view attempts to correlate biblical texts with modern events as coincidental or as results of confirmation bias. Understanding these prophecies influences broader discussions on the divine, the intersection of faith and history, and humanity's future. By exploring how ancient prophecies might relate to contemporary events, it invites a dialogue that transcends time, challenging individuals to reflect on their beliefs, the state of the world, and the possibility of a divine plan in action. In essence, it enriches the overarching topic by providing a lens through which the unfolding of biblical predictions, if any, can be critically and faithfully examined. Historical perspectives on biblical prophecies involve examining how interpretations of biblical predictions have evolved over time and their impact on both historical events and contemporary beliefs. This concept underscores the influence that scriptural prophecies have had throughout history, shaping cultural, political, and religious narratives. The significance of this point lies in its ability to provide context to the current discourse on whether we are witnessing the unfolding of these ancient predictions today. Understanding historical perspectives allows us to trace how past generations have responded to perceived fulfillments of prophecy and draw parallels to present-day events. One notable example is the prophecies found in the book of Daniel, which many scholars and theologians have historically linked to the rise and fall of empires, such as the Babylonian and Roman empires. These interpretations have shaped the way civilizations view themselves in a prophetic timeline, influencing powerful movements and decisions. Another example is the interpretation of the Gog and Magog prophecy in Ezekiel, which has been applied to various historical figures and nations over centuries, from the Roman Empire to modern geopolitical entities, reflecting shifting political landscapes and perceived threats. Opinions supporting the historical study of biblical prophecies emphasize the role these predictions have played in offering hope and moral guidance during times of uncertainty. Supporters argue that biblical prophecies serve as a divine blueprint, helping believers navigate tumultuous periods with faith and resilience. However, this perspective is not without challenges and controversies. Skeptics often question the legitimacy of prophecy interpretation, pointing to historical miscalculations and failed predictions as evidence against their divine origin. Critics also argue that retroactive fitting of events to prophecies undermines their credibility and objectivity. Complicating this discourse are alternative viewpoints that propose a symbolic, rather than literal interpretation of biblical prophecies, suggesting they serve as allegorical lessons rather than concrete forecasts. This perspective invites a more nuanced understanding of prophecies, focusing on their ethical and spiritual messages instead of precise predictions. In exploring historical perspectives on biblical prophecies, we gain insight into how past interpretations influence current beliefs about prophecy fulfillment. This in turn connects to broader discussions on the authenticity and relevance of biblical predictions in today's world. By examining historical contexts, we better understand the complexity and enduring fascination with prophecy, allowing for more informed conversations about their implications in contemporary society. In exploring the mysteries of prophecy, are we seeing biblical predictions unfold today? The criteria for identifying the fulfillment of prophecies stand as a crucial component. This concept involves a set of guidelines or benchmarks used to ascertain whether specific events or developments align with predictions found within biblical texts. Essentially, it provides a framework for distinguishing genuine prophetic fulfillment from coincidental occurrences or misinterpretations. The significance of this point lies in its ability to help individuals, scholars, and theologians determine the authenticity of supposed prophetic events. In a world where interpretations can vary widely, having clear criteria is vital for maintaining a rational discourse about whether current events reflect biblical prophecy. It also lends credibility to discussions by basing them on concrete evidence rather than conjecture. One real-world example of this can be found in the analysis of events in the Middle East. Many people look to ongoing conflicts in the region as potential fulfillments of prophecies related to nation-states and Armageddon. By applying criteria such as the specific details of the prophecy, the historical context, and the ability for multiple independent sources to observe and report the event, one can argue a more informed conclusion on these claims. Another example is the interpretation of natural disasters and their possible connections to biblical predictions. Some claim that the increasing frequency and intensity of disasters are indicative of apocalyptic prophecies. Using criteria such as scientific data on natural patterns, historical precedents, and scriptural specificity, individuals can better assess the validity of these assertions. Opinions supporting the use of criteria often emphasize the necessity of approaching prophecies with skepticism and logical analysis to avoid sensationalism. However, challenges arise in the form of controversies and alternative viewpoints. For instance, the symbolic language often found in biblical texts can lead to diverse interpretations. This ambiguity can foster debates over whether events truly meet the criteria for fulfillment. In relation to the main topic, having criteria for identifying prophecy fulfillment influences the broader conversation by providing a structured approach to discerning truth. It connects other aspects of the topic, such as historical analysis and theological debate, by offering a systematic method to evaluate claims. Thus, the criteria set a foundational standard in the quest to understand the mysteries of prophecy, anchoring discussions in a blend of faith and reason. Modern interpretations and debates on prophecy involve understanding ancient biblical predictions through contemporary lenses, often in the context of current global events. This concept is pivotal to the main topic, mysteries of prophecy. Are we seeing biblical predictions unfold today? As it explores how individuals and groups interpret biblical texts to find relevance or fulfillment in today's world. The core of the discussion lies in how these interpretations influence belief systems, cultural narratives, and even geopolitical dynamics. The significance of this point is multifaceted. It highlights the enduring influence of biblical prophecy in modern society and sparks dialogue on whether we are experiencing events foretold in sacred texts. This ongoing conversation can shape people's perceptions of world events, influencing everything from personal faith to international relations. A poignant example of modern interpretations is the ongoing debate surrounding the Middle East's geopolitical climate and its connection to biblical prophecies about Israel's role in the end times. Many religious groups observe the political tensions and align them with prophecies from books like Daniel and Revelation, asserting that these developments are harbingers of prophetic fulfillment. Another example is the interpretation of natural disasters and pandemics as indications of the end times, a perspective that gained traction during the COVID-19 pandemic, when some viewed it as a fulfillment of apocalyptic predictions. In support of these ideas, some theologians and prophecy scholars emphasize the importance of understanding prophecies metaphorically, rather than literally, advocating for interpretations that focus on moral and spiritual lessons, rather than concrete predictions. However, these interpretations are not without
scholars often critique the tendency to retrofit current events to ancient texts, arguing that such interpretations can be subjective and lack empirical evidence. Furthermore, there is debate over the literal versus symbolic interpretations of prophecy, leading to diverse and sometimes conflicting conclusions. These modern interpretations and debates about prophecy not only influence individual belief systems, but also intersect with broader societal and cultural dynamics. For instance, they can affect political policies, especially in countries where religious beliefs play a significant role in governance. In conclusion, exploring modern interpretations and debates on prophecy enhances our understanding of how ancient texts continue to resonate today and invites us to ponder the broader implications of our interpretations on both personal and global scales.